Okay, so let's go through this. This is very important. It's exciting work. A little bit boring, but it's not. If you know for the purpose of the reason why you need to be able to have an emotions list. You've got to be willing and able to study emotions to be able to have them happen in your work. So, there's a few things. I'm gonna go through part one of this list. And this is gonna be the things you want to ask yourself. You want to ask yourself, one, have you heard of the emotion before? Number two, do you know what the dictionary definition means in some way? Do you know a part of the definition? Or at least one of the definitions of the word? Number three, do you know for yourself the actual emotion? Now, we're going to build up to some fantastic things in this. So this is well worth doing this exercise for acting. This absolutely will help you in your acting. It will build what you need so that you can actually identify the emotions in your work. And what that will actually do is give all sorts of interaction back to you because you're accurately calling out the different emotional levels. And we all know emotions and feelings are two different things. We should know that. A lot of people don't. So I always try and remind that because it's very vital. Okay, enough of me, but here's the list. Okay, so crushed. The emotions list, acting list. We're going to go through several hundred of these. So, crushed, fraudulent, glad, stubborn. Dissing another, wistful, boredom, empowerment, enlivened, delighted, persuasive, perseverance, abused, mild, activating, disgusting, relaxing, shy, driven, suicidal, woe, perplexed. It's like caught in a moment of indecision. Standing up for another. Tenacious. Enjoyment. Flabbergasted. Ambivalent. Dejected. Paranoid. Unhappy. Cowardly. Pained. Displeasured. Obligated. Pacified. Guarded. Repulsed. Wonder. Now look, it might help you to have somebody else reading these. I'm dyslexic and I'm still doing this because it will help people. So look, if it helps you, that's fine. If not, get the list, but probably it will help you. Think about, have you heard it before? Do you know what the dictionary means? And do you know it in your life? Do you know what that's like in your life? Because once you do that, then you can use these as emotional preparations. You can start the processes of emotional preparations by understanding this emotions list. Now, the emotion of appreciative, of flawed, of longing, of afflicted, asserting, humored, beat, amazed, constraint, craving, distant, animosity, hopeless or hopelessness, the feeling of sentimentality, it's of something sentimental, feeling of anguishing. Now, the feeling of anguishing is different than the feeling of anguished. When you're anguishing another, you're intentionally causing them to be trying to put them in anguish. So you're anguishing them. It's a very cruel thing, but it does happen. It happens in acting exercises too. Insightful, defeated, raging, set up, apologetic, paranoid, superior, paranoia, sorry, that's different than paranoid. It's a version of it. Well, superior, thrill-seeking, self-confident, delirious or delirious denial, stunned, awkward, disapproval, envious, zealous, togetherness, lovesick, shamed, challenged, in a wonder. Or some could say that emotion is in a wonderment. The emotion of death-seeking. There's actually groups that seek that out. That's an actual real thing. The emotion of nostalgic. The emotion of satisfied. Foreboding. Apprehensive. Hi. Now listen, could you please just help me out? I need really, really good acting questions so I can help you out. So if you can write down in the comment section, each comment a separate question. Write down an acting question. This would really help to be able to have people learn acting. Okay, so the emotion of being willing. Willingness. Overpowering. The emotion of overpowering. Now, look, sometimes these are not kind. Some of these emotions are not kind, but if you're in an acting exercise and you have somebody that's overpowering you and you're not capable of understanding that that's an emotion that you can identify, then you're not going to be able to give the exercise the reality that it might need. So if somebody's overpowering you, you can literally say or include that in the scene with the script, either behaviorally, or you can just say the word, "You're overpowering me," or "You're overpowering." That could change the scene in incredible ways. Maybe the person's not aware of it. Maybe they're very aware of it, and it's very scary scene. It could be that they're not aware of it. So it's nice to be able to identify the emotions like this. So you're looking at these emotions and you're looking to see overpowering. That's an emotion. Now, if that's your emotional preparation, then that's another thing to work on. This acting's fantastic. Okay, so the emotion of safe, of conditional, sympathetic, amazement, nihilistic, devotion, disheartened, modesty, pressured. So he's crazy or temporarily crazy. Removed from self, restless, overworked, persuaded, odd, brazen, captivated. Captivated is different than captivating. Romantic, gladsomeness, hovering, furious, grandiose. Now, somebody that's grandiose always think that everything's going to go to the moon. Every single time, everything's going to go to the moon. Every stock pick they're going to pick is going to go to the moon. Maybe it does, but maybe they're that good at picking stocks. But if they're grandiose, they're always over-exaggerating. They're well beyond over-exaggerating. Grandiosity would be that they're in this grandiose state where they think that the world's going to always remain completely 100% peaceful and there's never going to be a conflict. Maybe that's a grandiosity. There could be a grandiosity of all sorts, but there's this. It's an interesting one. Grandiosity. Okay, negative. The emotion of negative. Comforted, sullen, loathsome, insulted, satisfaction, ambitious, tiring, lively, weak, hurt, triumph, infatuated. Now, infatuation is somebody thinks that they're in love with somebody, but they're not really. They're just infatuated with them. They're in love with the idea of them, but they're not actually. They're not really. They're not really. It's an infatuation. It's this thing that's not really an authentic care or like. It's something that they're liking the idea of. So they're infatuated. Maybe they're infatuated with. You could technically be infatuated with a certain car. You think that car runs better than another car, but there's nothing to really back it up, but it's infatuated. So you've infatuated it. It's an interesting emotion to work with, is infatuation. It really is. Enchanted. Another emotion is annoyed. The emotion of pissed off, wretched, elevation, unsettled, reluctant, suffering, carving an opinion. Brabant, which Brabant is testing how far you can push somebody. Now look, if you're in an acting exercise and somebody's coming at you in a way that they're pushing at you, it's pretty helpful to be able to say that they're brabant. They may not know what that means, but they'll have to work off of it because you're accurately calling the motion. Hesitant, agitative, shocking, senile. That's a fun one to work with. Worn out, escaping, invigorated, legalizing, unrestrained, attractive, detached. The emotion of heavy-hearted, being terrified, cruel, circumplexed, regenerating, the fight or flight. So when you have fight or flight, you have this emotion of fight or flight. It's this moment of decision of whether a person fights or flights. It's a scary one. It's pretty intense, that one. Rapturous, the emotion of exuberance, disconnected, tormented, entitlement, accepted, behooving, generous, secured, overjoyed, accomplished, turbulent, honesty. Honesty can be an emotion. Now, how do we do that? You want to be able to emotionally prepare, and we'll work on examples of this. But just check the channel. There'll be examples of this, including honesty. There's definitely ways to be able to really work on yourself and your emotion to be able to be very, very, very honest. Now, I don't suggest doing this in life to be at all manipulative. I mean just to be completely authentic and genuine. A lot of things I could say about. Anyway, so loathing as another emotion: shallowness, shocked, alert, helped, forgiven, insulting, insulted, shaming another, honorable, desiring, disgust, spite, indecisive, traumatized, hatred, rattled, cynical, isolating another, the emotion of being petrified. Now, the emotion of being sexy, the emotion of being distressed, unique, arousal, exhausted, grumpy, despair, detrimented, displeased, contentment, the emotion of depleted. You're emotionally depleted. Intending. The emotion of intending. Confident. You have the collie wobbles. Your stomach is upset due to some sort of anxiety. So you've got the collie wobbles. Losing. Demoralized. Blessed. Complying. Weary. Mortified. Cheery. Self-caring. Innocent. Playful. Uncertain. Desperate. Selfish. The emotion of disapproving. In love. Warm. Mourning. Engrossed. Bittersweet. Now, bittersweet. You'd emotionally prepare on bittersweet. Now, that might involve two preparations. You're involved in an emotional preparation having to do with something that's very sweet. It makes you very happy. There's something sweet about it. And then you also emotionally prepare on something that's very bitter. And then you put it together and you can get bittersweet. Interesting one. Remind me to do that, and I will. I should remember, but there's a lot of work to do. Emotion of pleasure, of being gay, of self-respecting, of freedom, dislike, burnout, irate, expectation, muted, passionless, wrathful, depressed, moody, prepared, humorless, needy, eager, mastering, untroubled, needed, serious, exhausting, admiration, feeling of being drained, irritable, vicious, optimistic, arrogance, pitying another, complicating, gain, gutted, intellectualizing. You're stuck in intellectualizing, you're going to have to be dealing with logic. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky emotional preparation. It's a tricky emotion. The emotion of horrifying, discontented, spontaneous, depressing another, gloomy, forcing misery on another, numbed, dispirited, empathetic, distressing another, commanding, of fondness, harding, the emotion of hardy, of insecure, confused, disoriented, joyless, lucky, sensational, sensual, sullenness, undecisive, adoration, warm, criticized, inspiring, apathetic. Okay? Emotion of destructive, devastated, dejected, exhibiting, focused, spiteful. The emotion of exaggerating, frustration, damaged, agony, crummy, enthralled, shattered, affectionate, infuriated, jealousy, befuddlement, favoring, regretting, somber, detachment, controlling, dazing, loneliness, spiritually connected and bereft. The emotion of intrigued, smug, aggressive, disshuffled, prideful, self-understanding, worried, creative, insidious. The emotion of feeling dead, revived, empty, removed from others. The emotion of peaceful, shaky, impaired, revitalized, forcing a lie, shook up. The emotion of miserable, astonished, promoting, learning, glum, reestablishing, dumbstruck, desirous, Hi. Now listen, could you please just help me out? I need really, really good acting questions so I can help you out. Proud, fatigued, tortured, limerence, disinterested, overburdened, possessive, revealing, common, disgusted, hard-headed, friendliness. The emotion of tender, alienated, bitterness, grouchiness, victimized, put upon, leniency, jumpy, independent, and dread. The emotion of reproachful, envy, frightful, determination, irked, kind, heartfelt, melancholic, receptive, restrictive, compersion. It's a wholehearted participation. That's what it means. The emotion of healthy, confiding, uninterested, sorrow, alarmed, anxious, imposing on another, relieved, frightened, bubbly, powerless, aversion, retribution, crafty, fulfillment, outraging, weariness. The emotion of sleepy, inferior, taxing, agonized, panicking, pessimistic, disbelief, embarrassed, nervous, or a bag of nerves. Empathy, or on high alert, the emotion of being on high alert. The emotion of relaxed, helpful, self-pity, authentic, tense, scornful, mad, charmed, disquiet, impatient, competitive, loved, irritated, merciful, complicated, confusion, destroyed, forcing belief on others. That's an emotion. You can get that emotion. You can do that with emotional preparation. This is definitely something you can work on. The emotion of lazy, unhealthy, crushing, let down, thoughtful, thrilled, apathy. Funny, comical, resilience, blissful, compassionate, powerful, amazing. Last sheet. Paralyzed, lethargic, understanding, disturbed, frozen, tickled, pink. Emotion of being involved. Romanticizing, attrition, assured, anticipation, disregarded, disgruntled, neglectful. The emotion of clear-headedness, unpleasurable, capable, cautious, blue, focusing, lustful, flustered, humbled, off-put, distracting, attentiveness. Ecstasy, emotion of ecstasy, emotion of being cheated. Cheating another is an emotion. Suicidal, that was a repeat. I think, I have to check that. Cyberchondria, puzzled, torn, flat, irreplaceable. The emotion of going postal. This is extreme outbursts. The emotion of unwavering, weeping, bemusement, victorious, incensed, aggravated, desolate, stimulated, lustful, happy, diagnose, experimental, acceptance, absorbed, captivating, panicked, claustrophobic. The emotion of mising. This is someone being too cheap. Emotion of manipulation, arrogant, pleasing, punished, pity, resounding. The emotion of someone being saved, calculated, constantly irritated, exhilarated, reliability, remorseful, alienation, composure, appalled, invincible, and the emotion of hallucinating. Now this is just some of the abilities that you can gain as an actor if you study hard. And we're going to do it. So stay with the channel, subscribe, like the like button. I know that's a long list to get through, and there's one more of them.